What's up, guys? It's Jason here, and today I'm going to talk about two real estate losses and one win. So, what a lot of people don't realize about the real estate business is that as an agent for our buyers, we put in a ton of offers, but unfortunately, most of them don't get accepted. So, I've been trying to think of ways to help you guys out, help my clients out, help specifically buyers out in today's market. And I think the best way is to tell stories that will hopefully give you some context as to what's going on in the market. But not just the stories where we get the property under agreement and we win, but also the stories where we lose, because there's a lot to be learned from that, from the actual process of losing. So let's just jump right into it. All right. So these are actual stories, but the names are going to be changed to protect the innocent buyers. So the first one, uh, client is Lauren. I'm just going to use my coworkers because that's what I'm thinking of right now. So Lauren is a good friend. We've been in talks for maybe a year about buying a place. She recently got pre-approved a month or two ago, and we started looking. She's looking for a place by herself and basically a starter home, but close to Boston. So her range is about in that $300,000 range. We found a place a couple weekends ago. She really liked it. Perfect for her, right by the T. Great for her commute when she does start commuting again, and just a perfect place to start in her real estate buying journey. So we put in an offer. It was now the place was listed at $290,000. We ran the comps. She listened to my advice, and all the comps said that the property should probably sell for around that asking price. It was a good asking price. We know the market's a little hot, but the thinking is this place was closer to the city. A lot of buyers have been moving out of the city, so the city hasn't been as hot, as many bidding wars and things like that. So the thought is, if we go in around asking, we still might have a chance. Also, her budget was very close to that asking price. So we went in, and our official offer was 290,000. We did an inspection, but with a $5,000 threshold, meaning anything over $5,000 that came up in an inspection, we would have the ability to negotiate. We had a mortgage contingency, and she put 3% down. We actually got a call back for best and final, which is a good thing. But again, we ended up losing this bid. The agent said that there were six offers, but they came back to us for best and final. So we went up. Our second offer was $300,000, again with the $5,000 inspection threshold, a mortgage contingency, and 3% down. At the end of the day, unfortunately, we didn't get the house. Don't know the exact sales price yet because it hasn't sold. But I think we were pretty close. But my guess is that we got outbid by 5 or 10,000. And also, I would not be surprised if some people waived the inspection just altogether, and or put more money down. So I think we got close with that one. This was Lauren's first offer, so it was good to get that one out of the way. Not as much competition as further out in the suburbs, but still enough to make it a little bit of a bidding war, push the price up, and cause buyers to remove some inspections. So that's the first story of a loss, single family in Revere with my good friend Lauren. All right, second story of a loss. Another set of good friends. I'm going to call them Slava and Coco. Slava and Coco, you know who you are. Those are my good friends, but you're filling in for my clients today. So Slava and Coco have been looking for a place for a couple months. Really, about a year, they've been interested in buying a place, but got serious about it near the holidays and have been looking all through the beginning of this year. They want to be north of the city, and the budget they started with was about $500,000 for a single family, north of the city, and good schools are important to them as they plan on building a family. So, unfortunately for Slava and Coco, the single family market is the hottest market in Boston right now, and especially when you're talking about $500,000 or less, or I mean, really, it's almost all price ranges. But of course, the lower the price range, the more excited people are. So a couple weeks ago, we put in an offer. We didn't get it accepted, but this week, uh, Slava and Coco found a place that they absolutely love. And actually, I really, really like this place as well. It's 3 bed, 1.5 baths. It's a cape. It's not a big house, but everything was renovated inside and out in 2015. So it's only 5 years old. In real estate terms, it's pretty much brand new. And what was interesting about this, if you know how capes are set up, it actually had an ensuite master bath, which I've never seen in a Cape and is extremely rare. It was also in a great neighborhood in Beverly. It had water views. It wasn't in a flood zone, but it still had water views. It had a lot going for it. So I knew right away that this property was going to be super competitive. Also, all the all the showings for the entire weekend were booked solid. There were no additional showings. We tried to change our times, wasn't going to happen. So when I know they have 50 showings, we know it's going to be competitive. So this property, remember I said single family in Beverly, 3 bed, 2 baths, 1.5 baths. It was listed for 550,000. Remember I said that they started off with a budget of 500,000, but they were able to bump it up for this property that they really liked. So this one was listed at 550,000. Ran the comps and everything that has sold similar to this one. So all the capes, 3 bed, 1.5 baths, in this kind of size range. The most expensive one was probably, it was actually less than, it was around 550. That was probably the most expensive one. But due to the way the market is moving and anticipation, we thought maybe 560, I'm sorry, 570, 580 would be a good price. But we did know that, hey, this cape is going to set the market, right? There's nothing, it's not going to sell at the same price that other comps have sold. The buyers are going to push the price of this one up, and it is going to sell for higher than any comp that we see. So we knew that going in. We were just trying to figure out the best price to put in. So eventually, the price that we put in was $600,000. We put 20% down, and we did not waive the inspection, but we had a very high inspection threshold of $10,000. So only if an issue came up in the inspection that was over $10,000 will we have the ability to go back and renegotiate. We also had a financing contingency, a normal financing contingency. So this is a story of a loss. So unfortunately, we did not get this property. The property ended up getting 29 offers. We were number 7, so there were six. There were 6 offers that were higher than ours. Again, don't know the exact price, but they were all higher. And the offer that they ended up accepting, I was told by the agent that it was substantially higher than all the other ones, and they essentially waived all contingencies. So that would mean the mortgage contingency, no inspection, no appraisal contingency. So it was a super, what we call in our business, a really clean offer, and that is what they accepted. So I think the moral here is that these are great clients. In a normal market, putting 20% down, going $50,000 above asking, higher than any comp that is out there. In a normal market, we would get that house. Unfortunately, the market is so competitive right now that it is just not enough. All right, so last story is actually of a win. So we'll end on a good note. Um, These are clients, I'm going to call them Mike and Alyssa. Mike and Alyssa started working with me late last year, and they were looking for a condo or a single family north of the city, again in Beverly, Salem, those type of neighborhoods, and a couple others north of the city. Mostly we were looking for condos, and we put in offers on probably two or three, maybe four places, and did not get any of them. Again, in general, one lesson here is that the condo market in general has been a little softer, a little easier to buy a place than the single family market. But when we were putting in offers in Beverly, there was still more than enough buyers to outbid us every single time. So even though it's not as crazy as the single family market, there's plenty of buyers and there's still competition. So it's not like, oh, we could just put in whatever offer and it's going to get accepted. Most of the time, that is not the case at all. So that's what was happening to us in Beverly. And we saw a place, and I can't remember, but I think it might have been the first place that we saw. And I love this place from the very start. It is a 3-bed, I think 3-bath condo, or maybe 2.5-bath condo. It's a townhouse, really. It's on 3 levels, huge master suite, high ceilings, really, really nice place. When we started, it was above their budget. So this property, this condo, was listed for $535, and they just didn't really want to spend that much. As we started getting rejected for offers, we always kept this condo in the back of our heads, and it actually sat on the market a little bit, and the sellers ended up taking it off the market. They had already moved out, but they took it off the market. They thought, okay, we'll relist this in the spring and see if we get any more interest. I just made sure that I kept up with the listing agent, followed up with them to see if the seller still wanted to sell. So this actually worked out really, really well. As buyers were in the market, looking at things, getting rejected, my buyer's appetite to spend a little more went up. This place was really nice. And because it was off the market and I had already spoken with the agent, at the very least, I knew we didn't have to compete with other buyers right now. So we actually were able to get this place under agreement for less than the original asking price. In this case, we didn't have to waive any contingencies again, because one, this place is newer, so the sellers weren't worried about having to really negotiate back and forth with an inspection. The place was I think 2 or 3 years old, brand new construction, so everything was in really good shape. But also there weren't other buyers competing with us that were taking out inspection contingencies, mortgage contingencies, all of those type of things. So we actually put down, it's either 5 or 10%. I don't think it was 20%. We had an inspection. We had the normal mortgage contingency, normal inspection contingency, and everything worked out with the property. We didn't have to go back and forth on any inspection items, but we got the offer accepted for actually less than asking price and are getting ready to close here pretty soon. So this was an awesome win-win, I think, for both parties. The sellers didn't have to go back to market. They got a good buyer, quality offer. Buyers, we didn't have to compete with the whole world trying to get a place if they came back to market, and they feel good about the price that they paid, and it just worked out for everybody. So I hope this was helpful. This is the story of 2 losses from the week, 1 win, and a little context on how we got each one. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, especially share with someone who may be in the process of buying a home. And if you have any other questions, your questions help me create good content. Let me know how I'm doing. This is Jason signing off. See you guys later.